and going, the people won't vote for it. That's the only way I see out of this, a direct democracy on major issues.
Well, you're absolutely right. And in every case in history, tyrants' undoing is that they reach too far. They get away with so much that they think they can do whatever they want. It's like Wiener. I mean, what type of person in their right mind, especially a prominent person, would be sending hundreds of photos of their member out to women, and then when Andrew Breitbart comes out and reports on it, they say he hacked Wiener and put it out. Wiener knew that wasn't true. I mean, this is incredible. How not only did he lie about it, he tried to frame Andrew Breitbart. I mean, these guys...
But Alex, who does his wife work for?
Hillary.
And don't you remember the Bill story?
Well, she's the special. Well, Bill said Hillary
made up the Monica Lewinsky. I didn't have sex with that woman's story. I smoked, but I didn't inhale Bill Clinton. This is what they do all the time. What's the surprise? I said it over and over again.
Stay there. We got a break. Got a break. Incredible. Gerald Celente straight ahead will cover the spectrum of news. Stay with us. We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Gerald Celente is our guest. Up on our Twitter feed that you can follow at Infowars.com, we have a big headline area there that says exclusive, continually updated area at Infowars.com. We're also going to get this special page posted up at prisonplanet.com that has links to our live video feeds, photo feeds, and so much more. But we now have the blown-up photos of the concentration camp-style floodlights, the special tripods with cameras every 10, 15 feet or so. That's all up there right now. And we do have, from Jim Tucker, this is breaking here, what their agenda is. And I'll talk a little bit about that in the next segment. In fact, let's just get into it now. What do you think of this agenda? Directly from his multiple sources inside Bilderberg. And we also have the intel, Trust But Verify, confirming that the West is behind trying to trigger a lot of these Arab uprisings to drive up oil prices, start a larger regional war. As you said a year ago, they would try to trigger a war as a political smokescreen so we'd rally around them. That they're upset that Congress is starting to wake up to the fact that Obama didn't have congressional approval and used UN authority to do it. They want a wider, giant war in the Middle East. This is directly from inside. They want continued bailouts, not just to Greece, but they want to secure unlimited trillions in a second round of profiteering that they call bailouts. So that's being haggled over. They're picking the new IMF head. Even Swiss press has reported that. But this is all very newsworthy here. But no, you won't see it in the U.S. other than Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. We hope the Drudge Report picks all this up as it develops. Also, they want to go after the alternative media, and we see inside, mirrored by Public, Sarkozy and others 2 weeks ago at the EU meeting, Gerald, openly saying that they do want to clamp down on the freedom of the press and the web and start censoring people and taxing the web. This is big news, and they're trying to get their carbon tax through. All that from inside Bilderberg. What's your take on that agenda?
Well, it's the agenda that's been going on now for quite some time. First of all, let's look at they have to continue to print the digital money, not worth the paper it's not printed on. So that's why we still believe gold 2,000 and above. You saw the unemployment numbers last week, worse than expected. And I love the language, again, the white shoe boy language, that economists are downgrading their forecast. Downgrading? You mean they got it wrong? No, they downgrade. When we get something wrong, oh, then it's wrong, but not them. And then let's keep going on here, Alex. They've already historically engineered the first great war of the 21st century that we said was going to begin and has begun. Now they're calling it, I love it, pro-democracy movements. Pro-democracy movements? This has nothing to do about democracy. It has to do with a lot of angry people, a lot of angry Greeks, a lot of angry Tunisians and Egyptians, a lot of angry Bahrains and from Yemen. And what's the same story? Young people, Spain, 50, 45, 50% unemployment, with university degrees and worthlessness, no future in front of them, and the past has been stolen and continues to be stolen by the corrupt few at the top, the Goldman Sachs gang, the Credit Suisse boys, the Deutsche Bank bandits, one criminal group after another. How about that lovely, lovely guy, Steve Schwarzman, that's bringing down the healthcare system as we speak right now in England? Steve Schwarzman, the CEO of the Blackstone Group, who, when they were going to raise the tax rate for hedge funds, he said, quote, "It's the equivalent of Adolf Hitler invading Poland in 1939. These are the people that are robbing us blind." So what they're saying, it's a pro-democracy movement. This has nothing to do with democracy.
Well, more than
it has
that,
to do
though,
with a lot of angry people.
They knew that the tree was about to fall on their house in the Middle East, so they decided to put a chain on it, pull it the other direction, and start the cutting in a controlled burn in Libya, in Egypt, in all these countries. It's admitted that the State Department, CIA, MI6, Mossad did run it. And they're putting even worse military dictators in, is what they've now done, totally banning protests in Egypt. And the folks are still rebelling, but now Anderson Cooper isn't covering it and hailing it. So the Bilderberg boys want a wide collapse in the Middle East to drive up oil prices to further bankrupt the general population. Kurt Nemo's got this key boil-down report coming out soon at Infowars.com. Gerald, stay there. Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m., we are here live. Thank you for joining us. We've got the multimedia video cast at prisonplanet.tv, intermittent photos and live video feeds at Infowars.com and prisonplanet.com. Gerald Celente riding shotgun with us for the rest of the hour. We're going to go back to Gerald here in a moment. Be sure and check out his very informative website, trendsresearch.com. He's the founder of the Trends Research Institute in 1980. He's the national best-selling author of Trends 2000 and Trends Tracking. Trends Research Institute covers 300 diversified trends. He has a great team, including former Wall Street Journal editor Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, working with him. And he's earned the reputation as one of the most trusted names in trends by accurately forecasting hundreds of social, business, consumer, environmental, economic, political, entertainment, and technology trends. Now, before I go back to him, I'm launching a major initiative. I am announcing, and we need to get Steve Watson on the horn via his cell phone, because he's staying in England, because I got Kurt covered up right now. And you get Steve Watson on the horn right now to get this out at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. And I got the idea for this looking at Twitter comments and looking at Infowars comments during the break. People are saying, where are the Swiss? They're pro-gun, anti-globalist people. They play both sides of it, letting the globalists also nest there while they keep them at arm's length. It's a place the globalists keep safe for themselves. Why don't we call for a protest for Swiss and other Europeans that are upset Saturday at high noon in that town, St. Moritz, there in Switzerland? Let's call for everybody peacefully to be there, and call for everyone listening to contact national U.S., British, Swiss, German, Dutch, French, Flemish, all of them. Call them and tell them, be there, cover this. This is happening. Let's have a mass viral movement against this. Get the article that's up at Infowars.com that'll be continually updated. Exclusive live video and photos from Bilderberg, continually updated. Other big article, Bilderbergs may give green light to Mexican central banker as new IMF boss, by Kurt Nemo. And he's got an even bigger report with the inside agenda, the first section that we just got. Please. Now, here's the deal. Here's going to be the key search term. It will link through to the article we write. It will link through to any of your websites that write about this. I don't care about InfoWars just getting the traffic. I want the traffic because the truth is at InfoWars. The truth lives in InfoWars, as other people are now adopting our nomenclature. That's fine. Nothing succeeds like success. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. Innovation breeds copiers. Good. That's what I want. Listen, let's make it the #1 search term. Bilderberg protest. Bilderberg protest. 2 words. Bilderberg protest. Go to, and by the way, the head of Google every year, and the former head Schmidt is probably there. And the current head of Google, they're always there. You need to expose them. Bilderberg, and if it doesn't show up as #1, you know they're censoring it. Bilderberg protest. You go to Google, you enter it over and over and over again in the search box. You just enter it, hit enter, put the cursor back in it so it's a new search. Enter, 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 enter. Let's drive it to #1. Bilderberg protest. Bilderberg protest. Hit them hard. Hit them hard. Let's push Bilderberg protest to #1. And I'll get Steve Watson to do an article in the next 3 hours before this becomes #1 search term about Alex Jones is calling on people and press to break the economic news blockade of how these people are robbing us, to break the blockade of how they're setting up the next round of bailouts, which are really robberies to the bankers, and how we're calling on people everywhere to converge peacefully. We have to add that. How dare us go to the criminals and, converge peacefully. We need Swiss citizens especially that can't be pushed around by the Swiss police. We need everybody to converge. Everybody. I'm tempted to jump on an airplane. I was going to go, by the way, but I can't back out on the talkers thing. I'd already decided to do that. I'm going to speak Saturday. I was going to go, be there for the first day, Thursday, the official day, fly back Friday, and get back Saturday morning. But I could show up late and miss something I've already confirmed I'll do. So I'm going to shut up now. Going back to Gerald Celente. Folks, Bilderberg protest, we're going to get it out. It's on. Get it out. Get our Twitter out. In fact, calling everyone who loves liberty. The banksters are coming. They're in Switzerland. What is it? 2th by sea, 1th by land. Am I getting that right with Paul Revere? I mean, it's here. They've come by land. They're setting up the next level of implosion, and then they'll come back and say, give us even more power, and we'll save you. But it only gets worse. This is how third world countries became third world countries. So again, key search term, Bilderberg protest. 2 words, hit them hard. Gerald Celente, what do you think of the idea?
I'm going to tweet it. You can count on me. I'll keep it going. Anything. Absolutely. But again, what the people have to do is they really have to understand that they must stand up. I just got back from Ireland, and I was a bit disheartened, I have to say. Whatever happened to those fighting Irish? They're rolling over. The government is now putting water taxes on them, more property taxes to bail out the banks. And it's very simple. I said to them, take 1 letter and change it. Iceland, Ireland. Put that C in Ireland. Don't pay the banks. Screw the bankers. That's all you have to do. You look at every nation that has shoved it back to the IMF, and they're all doing better. The IMF is nothing more than a crime syndicate. As I said, it's the International Mafia Federation.
Hey, we got their IMF World Bank documents in 2002. When Stiglitz left, they got leaked. BBC, it was how they go in, how they buy off the politicians, how they get the finance ministers in, how they have them buy these investments. Then they implode it. Then the economy implodes. Then riots start. They call it the IMF riot. Then that destroys credibility even more. The stocks go down. They come in and buy them up for pennies on the dollar. We have them. They should all be arrested. And we have good Swiss ministers calling for their arrest. So the Swiss people, high noon, Saturday, need to be there, Gerald.
Yes. And going back and tying this all together, Alex, let's not forget just a month ago, don't you feel a lot better now that Osama bin Laden, that fairy tale they told us? Isn't our life just great after that fairy tale happened? But today, just listen to the chief of NATO, the NATO chief. We need, quote, wider participation in Libya. Wider participation? This is a psychopath talking. He calls wanton murder wider participation.
Well, they call the war kinetic action, and it's going to last days, Obama said. He promised, and he didn't need Congress's approval. He said, I have UN approval, and I went to the UN to increase its, quote, credibility. It's treason. I don't just use that word. It's naked in our